If you've tried complete the words on the TOEFL reading section, you've probably felt it. A ticking clock, and your eye stuck on one blank you just can't figure out. In this video, I'll show you the three-sweep method, a simple way to attack the passage that banks the easy points first and saves your real thinking time for the blanks that need it most. First, a quick overview of the task in case it's new to you. You'll see a short reading passage with 10 words that are only partially written. The first few letters are there, and you type in the rest. Each word is scored independently, so there's a total of 10 points on this passage. Lastly, there's no penalty for guessing, so it never hurts to try filling in letters even when you're unsure. Now here's what most test takers do and why it backfires. They work through the blanks in order 1 through 10. That feels natural, but here's what often happens. Somewhere around blank 3 or 4, they hit a hard one and stare at it for a minute. This loss of time causes them to rush through the remaining blanks. The end result is that they've missed out on quick points that they could have gotten by following a different strategy, and they've made the task harder than it needs to be. The three-sweep method fixes this by changing the order you solve in. Here's how it works. Instead of going blank by blank, you make 3 passes through the passage, each pass hunting for a different kind of blank. Sweep 1 targets grammar structure, short connecting words like articles, pronouns, and conjunctions. These are usually the shortest blanks on the page, and the fastest to solve. Sweep 2 targets common collocations, familiar word pairings that frequently appear in English, like make a decision or pay attention. Sweep 3 targets passage context, the content words that depend on understanding the topic at hand. So it's grammar, then collocations, then context. Let's try this strategy out with an example. But first, I need to note that while Magoosh TOEFL uses official ETS questions in our study plans, the upcoming passage in this video is instead an expert-crafted one. Here's the passage. If you'd like to try answering this on your own first without any hints, please pause the video now to do so. But if you'd like to see our suggestions for which strategy to use with which blank, keep watching for a bit before tackling this on your own. Okay, I've highlighted each word a different color based on which strategy of the sweep applies. Green is for grammar, the first sweep, purple is for collocations, the second sweep, and orange is for context, the third sweep. If you haven't tried answering these questions yet, please pause the video and go ahead. When you come back, I'll start walking through the answers. Alright, sweep 1, grammar structure. We're going to ignore the content of the passage for now and hunt for blanks where the grammar alone tells us what word fits. 3 blanks fall into this category, all short function words. First, we have about blank counts. The preposition about needs something after it, like a noun or a noun phrase, and since counts is the verb, that means we need a subject, and when a person is doing that action, we need a subject pronoun. Since the 3-letter word starts with W, that means we need who as the answer. Second, near the middle. About who counts something, family, blank, how. The sentence is listing 2 related items, about who plus about how, inside the prepositional phrase, and the go-to connector between list items is the word and. Third, toward the end, emphasize blank, mother's line of descent. Before a specific noun phrase like mother's line, English needs a specific article, which is the. Also, notice the parallel structure a bit further in the sentence. Others, the fathers, where the word the appears openly. That confirms the pattern. After this sweep, we've gotten 3 points, and we haven't even thought about the topic of the passage yet. Next up is sweep 2, common collocations. We're looking for blanks where the answer is a predictable word pairing, something that just sounds right together, or something that we've seen appear together frequently in English. For this passage, this sweep covers 2 blanks. First, develops blank own. The pairing of a possessive word before own shows up frequently in English. His own, her own, their own, its own. The subject here, everything, is a singular thing, not a person, so the answer is its. Second, who counts blank family. The pairing counts as is also a familiar combination. Think of other cases where you might have heard something like this, such as, That counts as cheating, or this counts as a win. So the answer is the word as. By the way, a quick note on overlap. You might have noticed that as could have been found through grammar too, just by running through two-letter words that start with a, and that definitely works. But recognizing counts as a common pairing can get you there faster. Strategies overlap, and that's a good thing. Use whichever clicks first. And now sweep 3, passage context. This is where the time you saved in the first two sweeps really pays off. The passage is starting to take shape, which means we can finally read it for meaning. And meaning is exactly what the remaining blanks depend on. In the first sentence, you may not know the word kinship, but you probably know the word system. We then get some additional clues shortly thereafter: social structures and human culture. And in the final sentence, we see how mothers or fathers may get emphasized more. So overall, this passage is talking about how different cultures view and structure family units. That's the topic in one sentence. With that in mind, we're now better armed to tackle the remaining missing words. For the first one, every blank needs a word for a group of people who share a culture. The visible letters COMM plus the topic point clearly to community. Next, its own blank about family. Based on the two visible letters, the guidelines a community develops about family life are its rules. Next up is house blank. Another way to refer to families is as households. The provided house is doing the heavy lifting here, and then the context allows us to confidently answer that. Then we have a word that starts with ORGA. That's a rather unusual spelling. Plus, given that the passage is talking about how families are structured, another way to say that is organized. Finally, certain blank emphasize the mother's line. Another word for a set of people that shares similar customs is groups. That's the final 5 points. All 10 blanks solved in 3 clean passes. So what's the takeaway? Complete the words isn't really one task. It's 3 different kinds of blanks layered on top of each other, and attacking them in passage order would make you do the hard work before you've earned any easy wins. The 3-sweep method flips that. Sweep 1 gets you the fastest points first through grammar. Sweep 2 uses pairings your ear already knows. Sweep 3 cleans up the rest with context. Each blank is worth 1 point. Sweeping lets you bank the easy points first and enables you to save time for the blanks that require more thought. If you want to practice the 3-sweep method on official TOEFL passages, Magoosh TOEFL includes 10 full-length practice tests straight from ETS, the makers of the exam. We also have additional video lessons for Complete the Words, as well as for every other type of reading question on the test. We also have a multitude of reading passages for you to practice with. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching and happy studying.